Do you want to do an energy experiment and feel energy?
Yeah, let's do that. Hi, welcome back. I'm Jill Collins, your guide to mastering midlife. I recently attended a Pranic Healer's Mastery course with the amazingly gifted Master Pranic Healer and teacher, Master Stephen Coe. Today, we have a special guest, Megan McHugh, an Associate Certified Pranic Healer with her own healing retreat center in Sedona, Arizona. She is here to share how pranic healing can empower us through midlife and beyond. So let's dive in.
What's so incredible about pranic healing is that it's extremely precise and accurate as far as energy science. We're all made of energy, and it's easier than you think to move energy and heal yourself and your loved one. You don't have to take it on as a belief. You don't have to practice it the rest of your life. Even if you have a very strong religious background, maybe just be like, okay, God, I don't know what this is, but just take a minute and try it out.
I just would love to know, can you describe pranic healing in one sentence for our viewers who are unfamiliar with it? How would you describe it in one sentence, and what would you say?
It's learning that we're all made of energy and that it's easier than you think to move energy and heal yourself and your loved ones.
Wow.
Everybody can do it.
Everybody can
Even
do it.
they're doing it. They're 13, 11. Yeah.
They're probably more in tune and probably really good at it, even better than adults sometimes, I bet.
Yes. Yeah, they really are. And they think it's pretty fun.
Okay, great. I'd love to know a little bit about how did you get involved in pranic healing? And what inspired you to combine it with your work, also with your work? I know you work with horses and other healing modalities. So tell me about that. Tell me how you got started.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting because I had no idea the power of thought and emotion and energy until you have to. So in about 2004, I was really desperate. I was experiencing severe depression, anxiety, and later found out it was PTSD. And was having crying spells. I couldn't go to work. I was a horse trainer at the time. I had this cute little 24 horse stall farm. I was living in Illinois. Like seemingly on the outside, I had the perfect life, but inside I was angry, anxious, depressed, and suicidal ideation, suicidal tendencies. And I'd suffered for many years with it. And I always thought it was because I was adopted as a baby. I always thought like, oh, like it's like this whole poor me orphan thing. But it really was affecting my life in a big way. Like I said, crying spells to where I couldn't get out of bed and bursting blood vessels in my eyes. I was crying so hard. And I was just trying to release. I was doing inner child therapy with a woman, a wonderful woman. But I'd have these big, huge emotional releases and I couldn't function some days. And so I got on my knees and prayed this one particular day. I'll never forget it. And I was on my knees, literally on my knees, and like forehead to the ground. God, please help me. I cannot live like this. I want to die. I can't go on like this. I was also experiencing self-medication, addiction, mainly alcoholism. So this one night, I'm like, God, if you help me, I promise you, I will give back. I will give back. I'm like, I will do anything. And I kid you not, it was a miracle. I think within days, someone did a pranic healing session on me and I got my life back. I was like, what did you do? I'm like, I must know what you did because I have joy again. I have my life back. I'm like, what is going on? What did you do? And so he started teaching me pranic healing and said, hey, get these books. So I got Miracles Through Pranic Healing and Grandmaster's Advanced Pranic Healing. I just started reading them and practicing it and practicing meditation on Twin Hearts. Completely changed my life so fast and so powerfully. And I immediately began giving back because I'm a woman of my word, apparently, but I was so excited about it because I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I feel so good. I have to share it. And so I was doing pranic healing on my horses that I was training, on the kids that I was training. At the horse show, the kid was nervous. Oh, no big deal. Let me clean your solar plexus. It was like, people were like coming to me like, what did you do, Megan? They're like, you like look so good. What are you doing? Your horses look great. Your people look great. I'm like, let me tell you. So just amazing. And then here I am 20 years later, and that was about 2004. 20 years later, I've been at my place here in Sedona, which I've had for about 10 years. And when I got here, I began studying it formally. And then I started to pray to Grandmaster. I was like, this horses and you have been so profound for me in my life, Grandmaster. How can I blend the two in an interesting and unique way to help as many people as I can, draw even more people into this work and help people like me that have had trauma or depression or addiction? And I pray that a few times a week. And I was on an airplane and this download came to me and I started writing it down. You'll call it horse divination. You'll do this and this. And I've been doing horse divinations for over 10 years now. And people are blown away by it. It's super powerful, super meaningful. The horses increase people's receptivity to do their personal work because people will not feel safe to emote to a person, but they will to a horse. And that brings it to the surface. And then I do some pranic healing. We do some breathing. We do some forgiveness technique. We do meditation on twin hearts. And I send them home with tools and they continually do work with me. And then they'll come back and they'll be like, oh, I miss my horse. I want to come hang out with Cosmo or Cece or Brogan. And you can see how excited I am about it because I love what I do. And it's helping so many people. And Jill, thank you so much for letting me come on tell this story because so many people could use this.
I hope you're enjoying today's episode. And if you are, consider subscribing. 93% of you that listen to this podcast regularly have not yet subscribed. If you like this channel, can you do me a quick favor and hit the subscribe button? It helps this channel more than you know. And the bigger the channel gets, the bigger the guests get. Thank you. I can't agree with you more. And thank you for agreeing to do this. As I mentioned in the beginning, I attended this 5-day mastery course on doing pranic healing to be a healer. And the reason I did it is because I have a family member who is suffering from addiction. And I told a really good friend of mine from high school who's been in this work for 3 decades about it. And she said, you need to go to this course and you can heal him. And I just signed up. And I knew Master Co from Tony Robbins. So I trusted that. But I never would have thought that I would be myself a healer. And so I think this is so true that anyone can heal. When my personal experience, what happened to me at the event, and I saw so many people healed. For people that are listening, I'm going to probably try to we're going to embed a little clip of an intro or some part here so you can see what it looks like at some part of this video. But what happens is that you see people just waving hands and doing things. You think, what is this, voodoo stuff happening? But let me tell you, even for the most cynical people, when you see someone healed or you're healed yourself, you can't deny it. I had issue with my eyes. Yeah, I had some surgery. I had my lenses replaced. Remember that at the event? And I told Master Co about it. And I said, so I can see, great. I don't need reading glasses or anything. That's why they put them in. But I always have this little cloudy fog around all the words. Nothing's crisp anymore. And so he just started doing this thing and he was like feeling, and he said, you have a cloud over here. And he's like taking this stuff out and he just worked on me. And the way that I know, here's how I know I could see better, is that this is going to sound weird, everyone. But when I crossed my eyes, I could see crystal clear. And I discovered that a few years ago. So I went to experts and doctors and I said, look, I know I have it here somewhere. Something's happening. I know it's working. And they said the lenses are placed perfectly. Every doctor said that. They said it's something neurological or something in your body is just not talking. They're not talking to each other. There's some disconnect and it's not working. And then focal lenses. And so they gave me drops. It didn't really help it and everything. So I knew that. So before he started working on me, I looked at a sign and I crossed my eyes and I could see a crystal. And then he started working on me. And then at the end, I crossed my eyes and I went, okay, all right.
Totally different.
All right. This stuff works. Okay. I'm in. It really does. And the things we saw people healed from fears of heights, of snake phobias, just so many things as PTSD. So there's also something that you can do here with what they call pranic psychotherapy, which really appealed to me. And I'd love to go into that a little bit about how pranic healing, a lot of times, because my channel is focused on a lot of things with midlife women. And so really, a lot of times we're dealing with things in midlife and we're going through changes and we're feeling things like brain fog or our bodies are changing, or we're feeling different emotions and we don't know why. And then one other question I have too is, what are some of the best ways? Because some people are going to say, you know what, I love this. I'm for this. But how do I introduce this to people, pranic healing, to someone who might be skeptical or unfamiliar with it? How would you do that?
What I usually say is, because I get a lot of skeptics in here, but they're curious. What I usually say is, you can, and our grandmaster says this too, you can take this, you just try it on for size. You don't have to take it on as a belief. You don't have to practice it the rest of your life. maybe just give me a couple minutes and let's just see if it improves the pain or the emotion, see if it improves at all. What have you got to lose? Even if you have a very strong religious background, maybe just be like, okay, God, I don't know what this is, but just take a minute and try it out.
Yeah. And to be clear too, this is not tied to any religion or religious or spiritual belief in any way. There's not at all. This is
energy is everywhere. Prana is everywhere. And it's free for everyone to use.
And prana means energy, right?
Prana means energy, yes. Sanskrit for energy or chi. Means is chi. But it's everywhere. You can get it. We get it from 4 main sources: trees, the earth, the sun, and air.
Yeah. That's great. You know what? I love what Master Ko said too about it. He said, if you ask someone, have you ever heard of acupuncture? And most people say, yeah, I've heard of it. He goes, it's like that, but without needles.
Without getting poked.
Without getting poked. Yeah. Exactly. Thank you. This has been so helpful. And where do you see things changing and evolving in the future with pranic healing? Are there any advancements or things that are coming up with this?
I do. And I have the same wish that Grandmaster had. His wish was that there be one pranic healer per household planet worldwide. How amazing would it be?
That would be neat.
No?
That would be amazing.
So one thing I thought of, do you want to do an energy experiment and feel energy?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I love that.
Let's do that for sure. Okay, so rub your hands together like this. And then press the center of your palm with your thumb.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to put our hands like this. And if you want, close your eyes or leave them open. It doesn't matter. But definitely put the tip of the tongue on the roof of your mouth. Just curl your tongue upward.
In the soft palate, not the
soft palate.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're just going to inhale and exhale slowly. And just focus on the center of your palms as you inhale and exhale. So go ahead, inhale. Focus on the palms, exhale. Focus on the palm. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Focus on the palms. Exhale. Okay, now this is the cool part. So now, just very gently and very slowly, just like a tiny accordion, like you're barely moving an accordion, just move your hands in and out. And see if you feel something on the surface of your skin on your hands, or if you feel a pressure or a tingling.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe heat. Yeah. Do you feel something?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah. We just made like a little energy ball. Okay. Let that go. Okay. So we can do another one too. We'll put our hands like this.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine in your left hand, there's an apple, a beautiful, shiny red apple. Maybe you like the green apple. It can be green if you want, but just imagine you're holding it in your hand. See the shininess of it, feel the weight of it, see the stem. Just imagine you're holding an apple in that left hand for a few more seconds. And say the word apple 5 times.
Apple, apple,
apple,
apple,
apple,
apple.
apple. Okay, now compare your 2 hands.
Oh, wow.
Do you feel something in that left hand? There's like something in it. That. Okay, one more energy experiment. I'm going to stand up.
Okay.
And I'm going to have you or the audience, you guys are going to project love to me like this. Just put your hands like this. You can sit or stand, either one. And just shower me with pink light with love. Just continually shower me with pink light or with love. Yeah. And then, good, I can feel that. Thank you. I receive. And then see if you feel something change or shift when I do this. I'm going to cross my arms and my legs. Keep sending love, keep light to me. And then I'm going to uncross my arms and legs. Keep going. And then I'm going to cross my arms and legs. Wow, I can feel that. that shift. Okay, so go ahead and sit down. So did you feel a difference? Did you feel anything?
Yeah.
Your side?
Yeah, I did. You can literally just feel like there was pressure. And then when you crossed your hands, it was gone. Yeah.
Right.
It was not gone, but it was just less. It was like there was almost, it's kind of like the difference between the apple and with the apple hand and then the one without the apple.
Two different feelings. Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody has this little different sensation. And I think what I noticed, and I'm slow to get the sensation thing, I had it the first day and then I've had a little bit of drop off, but is that you always say, everyone says it gets better the more you meditate and the more you do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's this kind of thing you can really see. And so I'll be curious to leave in comments. Tell us if you feel this, what you got out of this. I'd love to know.
Yeah. And then like you said, like someone who might have doubt or they're like, oh, I don't know. You can do little energy experiments like that with them. They'll be like, I actually think I felt something. Wow. Okay. And then you just start to pull on a thread. For me, I have to go, I don't know, maybe it's just my personality, but I have to go to extremes to get people to believe that this stuff works. And I need horses. I use horses to help people increase their receptivity to healing because a lot of people have their limiting beliefs, like as we know that Tony teaches us about. And sometimes the horses really help people let down their guard and become vulnerable. And then all of a sudden they can feel it and they're ready to heal. But they just needed a big, furry, big, giant heart chakra horse to hug and to cry on their shoulder and be like, oh, okay, now I get it.
And this is something really specific, but I'd love to know how we can do things to help women in midlife who are dealing with these kinds of issues. Because a lot of times we end up doing things like self-medicating. We find or doctors prescribe medications to alter our moods, and maybe we don't need those things. Maybe there are ways to heal through pranic healing. What do you think about that?
Yes, absolutely. And even in my own life, I apply it. So what's so incredible, let me back up just a tiny bit about pranic healing. What's so incredible about this healing system is that it's extremely precise and accurate as far as energy science. So the way that started was Grandmaster in the Philippines, in Manila. He was a very advanced soul and he had other very advanced souls with him that had special gifts. It's called a high clairvoyant. And he had 2 or 3 of them. They did all these energy experiments with color, with thought forms, with their hand, with crystals. And after maybe 20, 30 years of doing this energetic research with people who could actually see energy, like people claim to see energy. No, these people were probably the best top 3 to top 10 people on the planet who could see energy. And we were blessed that our teacher had access to them like every day. And so that's where pranic healing stems from. It's a very ancient system, but we have this window or we get to peer in through these gentlemen's eyes on how it works. So say with hormones or women's emotions or with pranic psychotherapy, how it works is we use a divine energy because within us, especially women, we have a lot of emotions and a lot of thoughts going on from day to day because we're the nurturers. We do a lot, not that men don't, but we put a lot of pressure on ourselves in a lot of different ways. Plus we have all the hormones going on. So there's a lot of thought forms in our auras and in our chakras that have grown consciousness over time. They're that strong. And ones that have been put on us. So say you have a woman who had an emotional outburst and then her family members are saying, oh, she's so emotional. She's such a BI, you know what? She's out of control emotionally. Then they feed that. And then all of a sudden you have a woman who has hormonal issues and they wonder why. Because these thought forms have gotten lodged in the chakras from themselves or from others. And then all of a sudden they become what is being shot at them or what they think of themselves. And so to me,
I want to real quick before when you get back, explain what chakras are for people who don't know anything about this. What are chakras?
So we have energy centers. Chakra means wheel in Sanskrit.
And this is no BS because I tell you, years ago when I heard about chakras, I thought, oh, this is crap. What? when you're talking about the clairvoyant people and the Master Choa who started this, he's actually an engineer, and so is Master Ko. They're very literal, brainy, left brain type people. And so for someone who is that logical to go and look at this, you've got to understand this is not just people who are, oh, let me just feel the energy. No, this is like people this is so specific. This is like a medical degree, learning this.
Yeah.
Avoid the chakras. Explain the chakras.
Yeah. So they correspond with the endocrine system, all the different systems in the body. So like on the top, we have the crown chakra. That is basically our spiritual connection, divine will. And then we have the forehead. The Ajna chakra is personal will or mental will or higher mental faculty. This is where we think and process. And then we have the throat chakra, which is communication, but also higher creativity. We have the heart chakra, which is love, more personal love, the front and back heart chakra. We have a front and back solar plexus chakra, which is here. Yeah, just at the sternum. And then the back solar plexus chakra right behind it. That's our emotional center. We have the navel chakra, which rules the digestion and lower intuition. We have the sex chakra, which rules the sex organs and lower creativity, making babies, sexual pleasure, creativity, the root of creativity. And then we have the basic chakra, which is at the base of the spine, which is our survival. It rules the bones, the tissues, money, anything that has to do with us surviving is the basic chakra. And then we have other minor chakras too, but those are the main ones. And the spleen chakra, that's an important one that's here right at the spleen in front and the back. Mm-hmm. And then each fingertip, each tooth has a chakra, each eye. We have temple chakras, ear chakras. So when we scan, we check out, say, I'm going to do a healing on you, Jill. I'm going to check out your energy first and see if I can feel any blockages or any depletion before I even get to work. And then I interview you. Okay, what's going on? Oh, okay. So I have some emotions going on because my family member is struggling. Okay, let's look at that. Oh yeah, definitely. You're thinking a lot. We need to clean the ajna. Oh, you've got some emotions going on in the heart chakra and the front and back solar. Okay, let's do pranic psychotherapy and use that special electric violet light, which helps with divine energy, clean out emotions, because emotions vibrate at a pretty high frequency. As we all know, we wouldn't survive without our emotions. But then we get to work with this special color called electric violet. So really, it is really specialized because we have different bodies too. We have a physical body, and exactly superimposed over the physical body is the etheric body, which is exactly like my body. There's energy. So just like with phantom limbs, someone loses a limb, they still feel it. You can't cut away the etheric limb. It's always going to be there. And then we have an emotional body and a mental body. So pranic psychotherapy works specifically on the emotional body. Okay. Regular pranic healing, say you fall down and bruise your knee like I did the other day. I've been working on it. You just do physical healing with specialized color like green and orange. But
that's amazing. And that's something you were doing with sensing the energy. And that's something you learn at the courses. And I still struggle with it a little bit, but really when you start to do this and shit,
so do I.
And then you push the two palms, and then you can literally, you can test it. You can if anybody's watching, when you're watching, just do this and you'll feel energy between your hands. Yep. And so as you get better at this and you're doing more meditation, the Twin Hearts meditations that Master Ko does and Megan does also, they're free. I'll put links in the description here. But you can feel, like if I'm wanting to sense Megan right now, I can go in and I can actually, this is cool because somebody doesn't have to be present with you. And you can actually feel, you can work on people remotely. And so they don't have to literally be in your presence. So that's the beauty of this work. COVID.
But it was so great during COVID because if people had COVID, we didn't have to get near them. We could be on Zoom or FaceTime and they'd be ready within days rather than weeks.
Wow. That's
amazing. It really, it isn't. I was during COVID than anything else. So.
Or I bet that this was really good work because people had time and they were dealing with a lot of things. What did someone say? Michael Beckwith said during the I think it was Michael Beckwith said maybe it was Kyle Cease. Kyle Cease said during the pandemic, he said everyone went home and they discovered that they had an attic or a basement. Meaning that that all of a sudden there was all this stuff that they weren't dealing with in their daily lives, their thoughts, their emotions, their feelings, the things we stuff down we don't normally deal with because we're so busy and we're not busy. All of a sudden we start to notice everything. And so I'm oversimplifying what he said about it. But the idea is that lots of things started to bubble to the surface, lots of divorces happening, lots of turmoil, lots of things happening that we had to take a look at ourselves, unlike we normally would. So that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, so for people, tell me something that people could start doing at home now. Is it something they should get a course for? And what would be their first step if they want, I want to do this. How do I get started? What does someone do?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to learn more about it, you can take an introduction to pranic healing class. We do those on Zoom or in person. Pretty much we're in over 150 countries worldwide. So pretty much every major city, we have a pranic healing center nearby, or you can jump on a Zoom. Like I teach mine on Zoom every Monday from 3:30 to 4:45 Pacific time. And you can go on pranichealing.com to sign up for these classes. You can just search Megan, go click events. And then if you want to take it with me, you can search Megan in the teachers search bar. And all of my classes will come up. They're all free. You can come to a pranic healing clinic. Like I said, we're worldwide. It's in your country. It's probably in your city. Or do it on Zoom with me if you want. That's free. And come and receive a mini healing session just to get a sample healing to see if you like it or to learn more about it. And it's so easy. And we're everywhere. That's what I love about this is that I get people visiting me from all over the world at my Airbnb and my retreat center. And they do a healing session. They're like, but how can I be a part of this? I'm like, oh, where do you live? Okay, cool. And if you're in Chicago, then talk to Chanda. And if you're in Dallas, talk to Sarah. Like I know where to send them.
We definitely will have your links in the bottom so people can reach out to you and contact you about your Airbnb too. And also I know you do wonderful retreats and things for healing. And that was my next question, because I know a lot of people might be saying, okay, I need healing. I don't have time to learn the course, but I want healing. How can I get healing? Or I know someone who needs healing right now. How do they get that? Or is it possible?
Absolutely. Yeah, there are pranic healers everywhere. I do them remote or in person. You can go to my website, SedonaSacredRocks.com, and sign up for a healing session with me, or just sign up for a consultation and we can talk about how we can get you to where you want to go with your healing and how long it'll take and what the cost is and all that. And if it's for you, because it does take a certain amount of faith and trust and a little bit of work on your part, because I don't fix you, you do. I just help you remove the blockages that are keeping you from healing whatever's going on in your life, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially.
Well, and that's true. It can even handle our limiting beliefs, which I found fascinating, because the woman with PTSD that we saw, it wasn't physical, really, but she did so much personal development work already. But what she was struggling with were images of what she saw that she couldn't get out of her mind. And so I'm thinking, you can get rid of people's images in their mind? Really? And he did. And that was amazing.
Yes.
So we can actually...
energy. Yeah,
that's right.
Energy. And if it gets lodged in your certain chakras, the memories get lodged in the ajna, the crown, in the brain. You clean that out. And then all of a sudden, it's like really hard to access those horrific memories of wartime or working in the morgue. She said she worked in the morgue in the army for several years or something. So I can't even imagine what she saw, but you can help by just cleaning that out. And then all of a sudden wow, there's peace. I have peace.
It was beautiful to watch. So many things. It was just really an amazing experience, and not just to learn, but to actually see people healed. So what a gift. So we talked about some specific health issues that someone might have. And we talked about that you can do distant healing, which is amazing. Addiction is something we can treat. Brain fog for women with, menopause, different issues like that, or feelings. And we talked about PTSD. Chronic pain's another one. Pain, physical ailments. If someone has a physical ailment or like something related more to physical like that, is that something that can be treated?
Absolutely. Grandmaster did us a huge favor, a huge solid by developing protocols for pretty much every physical ailment, diabetes, contusion. Like I said, I fell and bruised my knee, nearsightedness, farsightedness, fresh cuts, bronchitis, colds, COVID, you name it. I even have fibromyalgia. Yep. We have protocols for it. And a lot of times, so when I have a client, because I suffered emotionally for so long, there's always an emotional component to component somehow to every physical ailment. So we fix the emotional body too. Not fix, but we help you heal. We clean out the emotional blockages. Because a lot of times, fibromyalgia, arthritis, a lot of this stuff is emotionally based. Diabetes, it starts with emotions. I have to say, in all of my 20 years of healing people with this modality, there hasn't been one ailment that I haven't had to treat the emotions too. So we flip flop. Say you buy a package of 5 healing sessions with me. We're going to do both. We're going to start with emotional healing 9 times out of 10, unless you have a severe pain, then I'm going to go right to the pain and relieve your pain so that you can get on with your day. But it's pretty incredible. And then I'll do a session. I'll be like, oh God, I hope this works. And they're like, I just ran a mile today. I haven't done my run in like a year. And now all of a sudden I can do my running and I can do my workout. What did you do? I'm like, I didn't do it. I just was trained to wave my hand and do this with my crystal and pray for the best. And I'm being a little humble here, but it's not really me doing it. That's why we invoke before we
invoke, meaning we give thanks and ask for assistance from
to be a channel
from the right, the masters that have.
And then and then we coach people like, okay, so you have this emotional thing going on. Okay, I'm going to coach you. Please do forgiveness technique. And I have a video of it. Do forgiveness technique every day towards yourself and then this other person who you maybe have transgressions with. Or you're going to have homework to do meditation on twin hearts at least 3 times a week so that you're getting this flushing effect of spiritual energy so that the physical ailments move along and heal faster. You get a flushing effect and you're generating good karma so that you can have the good karma to heal, because need to be, whether we believe in it or not, whether religious or spiritual or whatever, the law of karma is like the law of gravity. It doesn't care if you have an opinion about it. We got to have enough good karma in order to move forward, either financially, physically, emotionally. So the meditation on twin hearts takes care of a lot of that. Or we'll coach you on different things like tithing. Say you're like my clients with breast cancer. I'll be like, okay, you please tithe, give money to charity or help women pay their medical bills that have breast cancer that can't pay their bills. Or St. Jude's Children's Hospital is a great way to generate good karma to heal your physical ailments fast. So like my people with brain injuries, tithe and give money to organizations that help people with head injuries, brain injuries, whatever you want for yourself. We're going to coach you how to get it for yourself, but you got to give it to others first so you generate the good karma. So I kind of over answered that.
It's great. It's great because what I'm thinking too is, and we've heard about this so many times, I know in different places, but this idea of when we experience trauma, whether it be childhood or at any point in our lives, that pain if it's not like for me, losing my husband, going through that, if I don't grieve and go through that grieving process or any kind of things that have really been traumatic, those things actually get lodged into our bodies. We've heard this for many years. And so how do you act? This is what this is breaking out. This is getting rid of those stored traumas, memories, things that we didn't deal with or that we've forgotten or that we've stuffed down. Because a lot of people I know are suffering from things like chronic pain. And you can see the person and how they behave and how they live their life is that they just stuff everything down. They allow people to talk down to them. They accept everything. They're the people pleasers. They're the, I can do more. I can be more. I can take care of it. I'll do everything. And they're just not taking care of those themselves. They're allowing things to be happening and they're going through trauma or they're having trauma in their body. And so that unresolved, not let go or released becomes these diseases that we're talking about. So if the emotional traumas become physical.
Dealt with. Yeah. Yeah. And we coach you on how to deal with that. So really healing is about soul mastery, isn't it? So, and be healers, the pranic healers, you or I or any given pranic healer, we remove those blockages so that you can remember faster that you're a soul that has a physical body. You aren't your physical body. You have a physical body to move around in this reality and to learn lessons and to eventually serve and give back what was given to you. But really, it's a soul mastery game. Remembering who we are. But we've forgotten. That veil is so thick, we've forgotten. And so we think that we're these emotions that others put on us, or that we think that we're our trauma. This whole trauma bonding thing, I have groups that come in here, and I had this one group come in with trauma bonding, and they were just feeding the thought form. And then they hired me to coach them and do a group session. And they were like, what?
I want you to give that example and explain what trauma bonding is and explain what that is so people understand, because I think people hear that phrase and they don't fully understand and how it actually impacts with pranic healing or pranic work.
Yeah. So it's a really interesting, this new thing where people who've had trauma, they find each other and then they have compassion and sympathy for each other. And they just sit and they tell each other's story. And they're like, oh, I had that too. And let me hold space for you as you continue to tell your story. And they feel listened to and they feel significance. They get that serotonin hit from this incredible identification of
connection,
trauma, and a connection, a bonding, that too, and a bonding that they get with each other with trauma. But what they're actually doing, so that doesn't work really long term, because what they're doing is they're feeding the trauma even more by telling that story more and more. And then all of a sudden the story's huge. And then they're this massive victim and they can't seem like they can get out of it. And they just need more trauma bonders to feel sorry for them, to get that serotonin hit and to feel like they're alive. But it's no, wait a minute. You can feel even more alive once we remove those negative thought forms and negative energy from your chakras and your aura. And you can feel free again and be like, oh, I had this trauma, but it doesn't control me anymore. It doesn't make me feel sad or angry anymore, because I was miserable. And we were feeding each other's misery. No, I want to tell a new story.
I think there's some sense of like you said, significance. And Tony Robbins talks about the 6 human needs. And if you have 2 or 3 of those human needs, it can become an addiction. And I remember that really when I heard that for the first time, because I was thinking about widows and how being in widows groups, and I never was really in one, but I could see, and when I went to a couple or I listened to a couple online, I saw just some of them that were still like it was day 1 and it was the 10th year. And I'm not saying we ever get over someone who we've lost, but we go through the process. And because what happens is we're feeding, and even if we tell a story, say I'm dating someone and I'm saying, oh, Megan, I dated this guy and you won't believe it, he never called me back last night. You know what? He's just like every other guy. And then you start telling me your story about the guy that broke up with you, or this happened too. And then we're like, oh my God, let's call Susie and let's tell her too. And then we're all retelling our story. You got to tell everybody the story 10 times.
And you're swimming in it.
And you're swimming in it. And what ends up happening is this, not just as it becomes like a bigger deal and it affects you more emotionally, but it affects the people around you and there becomes a tie. And then there's a bond there.
And you're a fun sucker.
And yeah. And then you got the areas in your body where you're literally dealing with this stuff and it blocks energy. It's so important to know this.
It can block your finances. Yeah. It can block your peace.
Yeah. And so it's not that we ignore when something bad happens to us and say, oh, okay, sorry, he died. Okay, bummer. All right, let's move on, which I did try to do that actually for a while. But that was coping mechanism. And I had to go backwards a little bit, but that's fine. But what I think is, it's like when something happens, say someone says, oh, I'm sorry, I can't make it tonight. You go, wow, instead of making a big story out of it, oh my gosh, this keeps happening to me. Everybody keeps saying it. They can't, I keep getting stood up. Just go, wow, okay, so that happened. All right. And I love what Eckhart Tolle says. He says, when you let something you just lean back, take a deep breath, and you watch that feeling pass by. And he goes, and literally the feeling, when you don't think about it and ruminate on it, it literally passes by and it can go away. But when you continue to ruminate on it and then tell other people and you keep going, it
can get other people to feed it.
Yes. And we're saying all this to say that this is where these energy things, where the blockages are, that we're breaking up and dealing with when the healing. This is where physical ailments start to come in because of these things that are unresolved, that we've created in ourselves through our thoughts and our feelings, which are just energy.
And absolutely. And then you reach a point of mastery where you don't need anyone outside. You don't rely on your outside environment for peace or happiness or anything. You realize, no, I'm a soul. I get to choose my life, what I want my life to look like.
Yes.
That's freedom. That's mastery.
That is mastery. That is mastery. This has been so helpful. And I really want to say this has been so interesting to me. And I look forward to everyone's comments about it, and reach out to Megan. She's amazing. And the courses and
Megan.
Curious. Yeah, Megan. I would say Megan like vegan. And yeah, so hard. I heard everybody on the call earlier today when we did our Twin Hearts meditation saying Megan. Right. Like, not going to get that wrong. I'm not going to. And then I did.
I thought, no, that's okay. Maybe I need to clean that thought form out of my aura.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's possible too.
That's possible that people pick up on. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So everyone, please definitely share this with others who need this, and subscribe. I do so much with this, and I love sharing this with you. And I really hope you'll subscribe and connect and give us your comments as well, and put the bell on so you can get notified of our weekly videos that we put out. So thank you. And Megan, thank you so much. This has been great.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much, Jill, for all you do. And I'm going to hit subscribe and the bell button right now too, because I just realized I haven't done that yet. And I want to
Oh, it's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'll see you in Milwaukee in a few weeks.
Yes, we will.
All right. Sounds good. The next event. All right, everyone. Take care and stay empowered, everyone. Ladies, keep it going, and definitely get out there and connect. And join my midlife mastery community for women. It's free. We meet on Zoom every week on Wednesdays. You'll love it. It's a great way to connect and meet some new women. Talk to you soon. Take care.
Yes, I would love it. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks. Be blessed.
Yes, you too.